Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This has been circulating in my social media group. Definition of stupidity: knowing the truth, seeing the truth, but still believing lies. There is some truth in that. It is interesting to note here that it says Zanu PF supporters. So it's easy to guess who posted it. Triple C supporters. This is, of course, just laughable. This is no more than your proverbial pot calling the kettle black. If you look in the shadows there, you can see the kettle and the pot. The truth of the matter is both Triple C supporters and Zanu PF supporters are just as stupid, because Zimbabwe is a failed state. Because, like it or not, we have more than our fair share of stupid people. And to crown it, they have the vote. This is at the root of our problems, at the heart of Zimbabwe's problems. We have an electorate that is extremely ignorant, naive, and gullible. And they've been exploited by Zanu PF for the regime's own personal gain. There cannot be any denying of that fact. So, this definition, to go back to the definition of stupidity, one can really redefine it in the following way. I would say that stupidity is seeing the truth. But seeing is one thing, knowing is another. As much as the Zanu PF supporters can see for themselves that the economy is in total meltdown, the looting is off the scale, they still believe in Mnangagwa's vision 2030, that the country will become an upper middle income nation by 2030, in 6 years' time. Of course, it's nonsense. They can see for themselves that the economy is in total meltdown. And yet they still believe the lie of Vision 2030. It's because they can see the reality, but they can't comprehend it. They cannot make sense of what they are seeing with their own eyes. The same applies to our Triple C supporters. Last year, they were conned by Chamisa into participating, not for the first time, in flawed elections. So flawed that David Coulthard, in his book, admitted that the only logical step is to withdraw. But they've continued to participate because they believed Chamisa's idiotic lie that he had plugged all the vote rigging loopholes. Try as many people try to emphasize to them that this is a lie, had no effect at all. They continued to believe the lie. They participated in the flawed elections and gave Zanu PF legitimacy, perpetuating their own suffering. They believed a similar lie in 2018 when Chamisa told them that MDC alliance had stringent measures to stop Zanu PF rigging the elections. Of course, he was lying. They were told that that is a lie. They could see it for themselves, but they failed to comprehend it. So I'll go back to the definition that's on the screen there, and say that stupidity, or as I often call it, village idiot, is somebody who can see the truth but will believe a lie because they failed. They don't have the intellectual capacity to understand what is being laid before them. It may just as well be in a foreign language. There is a real danger in Zimbabwe perpetuating the dictatorship come 2028. Chamisa is gearing to tell his supporters that he has plugged the vote rigging loopholes, and they will once again participate in their millions, as they did last year, in the flawed elections. There is no doubt at all that by participating in flawed elections last year, in their millions, Zimbabweans made it very difficult for SADC to deny Zanu PF political legitimacy. The number one task before this nation is to make sure that we do not repeat the same stupidity of participating in flawed elections to give Zanu PF legitimacy. That is the challenge before us. And it is one that we must take very seriously. Because I believe that 2028, if we give Zanu PF, if we participate in our millions again in the flawed elections and give Zanu PF legitimacy, another 5 more years after 2028 of this chaos and tragic waste of the country's human and material resources is unthinkable. And yet it's real. We really need to smarten up our act. We need to stop the Chamisa Chete Brigade participating in the flawed elections. That is our only realistic hope of finally ending this nightmare of rigged elections and bad governance. Zimbabwe is a failed state because we have the misfortune of having more than our fair share of village idiots. And unfortunately, they have a voice and they have a vote. Our challenge is to make sure that they do not foolishly participate in a flawed electoral process to perpetuate the Zanu PF dictatorship. It's easier said than done because we are dealing here with individuals who do not have the intellect to see, to differentiate between the truth, facts, and the lies. Chamisa has lied to his supporters in the past about winning rigged elections. He is certain to do so again in 2028. And they will believe those lies. We have got to do our best to make sure that this does not happen again. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.